This brings us to the end of our lesson today on the Ku Klux Klan and the rise of racial hatred groups in Reconstruction and in the world today. Again, I hope that this lesson was interesting or illuminating for you, because while it is sad and really messed up, the horrible, horrible violence and terror of the Klan, it does help us to understand why that these hopes for the civil rights and Reconstruction, that there would be equality and freedom for African Americans, why that didn't happen. Because unfortunately, as we're going to see later, is that Reconstruction failed. It crashed and burned and did not succeed with its original goals of creating equality and justice and civil rights for African Americans. And it's mostly because of the success of these terror groups. They got what they wanted for the most part, unfortunately. But what we can learn from that today is that when there are racial hatred groups like this, and they are still around, as we've seen in the videos, and unfortunately, they're not as easy to identify because they don't all wear the uniform of, they don't go out in white pointy hats and robes. A lot of these people who are part of hate groups now just dress like regular normal people, and you can't really tell if they're your like person in your neighborhood or who they might be. And that's kind of scary. But these people who believe in these things, that believe in white supremacy, believe that anybody who doesn't look like them should be treated as less than human, are still out there. And we've seen that they are unfortunately becoming stronger, that because of current political events that have been going on, they felt emboldened, or that it's okay to spread hatred with things like the election of President Trump. No matter how you feel about him, if you like him or you don't, it's an undeniable fact that his election has increased the number of hate groups in the United States, and they've only become more bold and strong. And what this means for us in the world today is just like during Reconstruction, when hatred groups come out and there's terror and threats, what do we do as regular people in society? Do we choose to kind of ignore them, be like, it's not my problem? Do we choose to kind of just be scared and only look out for ourselves and give in, which might let them win? Or do we do what is scary and maybe not entirely safe, which is stand up to these people, say that we will not stand for this. This is unacceptable. Everyone deserves to be treated with equality and justice. And it's a big, giant racist lie to say that somehow someone's better than somebody else because of the color of their skin. And so ultimately, I hope the takeaway would be is that when we see hate groups, and if not just the KKK, but all the ones we've seen in the videos, people that push this ideology of white supremacy, that we will stand up to them, and we will strongly stand up to them. You can't play nice with the people who want you dead because you're not white. That is, they're way out there. And unfortunately, we have to stand up to them, because if we just quietly let them do what they want to do, then the world's going to get worse and things will get shut down and civil rights might be lessened and we might go on a downturn in history. But if we're going to improve, if things are going to get better, if there's going to be more equality and justice and civil rights for people in society, then it's, again, like I've been saying, it's going to take people like you, people like me and us all together to stand up to hatred and say, this is what we believe in, is equality and justice, and we'll fight for that. And we're not just going to stand by while hatred tries to spread. So the world's real, and social studies is very real. And this is literally the future of freedom in the world. And this is important, and not to try to scare you, but to let you know that it's a fight for freedom and justice and equality. It's not just a one-sided thing, that there are people who want horrible things for the world. And there are hopefully those of us like me and hopefully you and everybody else who would rather stand up for freedom and equality and justice. And we must fight for those in the world today. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Feel free to contact me if you want to talk about any of this stuff, because I know it's a lot, but it's real. And we do need to be on the watch for this. So I hope you have a great day. Thank you for doing this lesson. And I'll see you next time in our second to last social studies class. I've enjoyed having all of you in class, and hope you had an enjoyable year so far. But I will see you next time at our second to last social studies class.